Hello and welcome to the Horror Homestead. My name is GiBi, and today we're going to be reading, playing through, still not sure what the vernacular should be, the next, the newest, the brightest, the greatest, as far as I've heard so far from people talking about the leaked version on Twitter, but the new interactive novel, Five Nights at Freddy's, the week before. A couple weeks ago I released a video about VIP, that was the 0th book in this new series, so this is the first book. When it was first leaked, we were told it was going to be about Phone Guy's week leading up to the original FNAF game. The week that definitely ends with him being killed by the animatronics. We know from the leaks that his name is Ralph, so that's cool, I guess, but it's still in this huge gray area whether or not these books are canon. Personally, I hope they are. I hope that we get these prose versions of the stories that will be able to deliver lore in a new way that's better than what the minimalist games are able to. I also like how they're able to delve into really dark aspects of the franchise that the games can't, because they're child-friendly. So for example, in VIP, there was a scene where the kids get locked in this room with a bunch of decomposing other children, but because it's not the canon ending, it's not that scary. So I hope that there's a lot of things like that in this. I hope we're going to get some good lore. I hope it's going to be kind of dark and gross and gritty and scary. And I'm just hoping that we're going to be able to get to one of the good endings today. I'm not sure how many endings we're going to go through, but at least one. That is my policy. First video on this, at least one ending. Don't know how many videos the series is going to be. So we're going to start and we're going to read Five Nights at Freddy's The Week Before by Scott Cawthon and E.C. Myers. Alright, you are Ralph, and working security at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is your dream job. At least that's what you told them in the interview. You've been there so long, the relentlessly cheerful animatronic characters feel like old friends. You love how their antics bring saccharine smiles to kids' faces. This place creates happy family memories, and you help make that possible. But all good things must come to an end. It's time to move on while you still can. This is your last week. You've always worked the day shift, but after a sudden staff vacancy and temporary closure, management asked you to take the night shift for a change. Letting them down is never an option. So that's in reference to FNAF 2, where you're on some sort of weird management position, and then after the bite of 87, you become the night shift person, and then they close because of the bite, and so then when it reopens, you're the night shift guy in FNAF 1. Not sure how much context any given person watching this video is going to need to the overall story of FNAF, but there you go. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy are Fazbear Entertainment's biggest assets. Your duty is to protect them and the restaurant's reputation. Your contract calls it a matter of life and death. You've heard rumors that the animatronics get somewhat lively after hours. No, they get a little quirky at night. Come on, you gotta use that line. But no one's better equipped to handle them than you. 22-time Employee of the Month. So that means he's been there at least 2 years. So if the bite of 87 was 87, and FNAF 1 happens in either 92 or 93, he's been there at least 2 years, but that doesn't actually tell us anything. Obviously, other people could have won Employee of the Month. As Night Watchman, you'll face many choices that lead to various outcomes. If you find an item that might help you do your job, write it down for later. Now, for your first big decision, we're going to be playing on normal mode. Easy mode would add a paperclip, a screwdriver, and a flashlight. We are just starting with our wits. We are going to be in a lot of trouble, though we do also have Toto here to help. Night 1, 12 a.m. The security office at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is practically a second home. You've spent so much of your time here over your career. Probably too much time cooped up in a glorified closet, staring at a buzzing, flickering monitor until your eyes dry out. Why you gotta call me out like that? But everyone's gotta make a living. Why you gotta call me out like that? And you have an 11-year-old daughter. What? New Ralph lore, new Phone Guy lore. That makes this so much sadder. Copelia. This is definitely a real name. I should know how to say this. Copelia. There's a play called Copelia. In it, his daughter is a mechanical doll who is so lifelike she's able to fool the villagers into believing she is alive. I can't find, like, a pronunciation about how to say the name. It just comes up with this play. I wonder if that's thematically important. You often feel like the only thing you're good at is protecting others, even at your own expense. The office is always dark since there aren't any outside windows, but somehow at night it still manages to give you the creeps. You're probably just spooked because you're all alone in the restaurant, aside from Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. Animatronics aren't fantastic conversationalists, but boy can they sing and dance. Of course, they've also been known to do other things. Rumor is, they've become strangely aggressive lately, but surely those glitches were ironed out, or they wouldn't have reopened this place. Not that customers have exactly been flocking back just yet. After the restaurant closes and everyone is gone, the animatronics enter roaming mode and walk around to prevent their servos from locking up. You hear heavy footsteps echoing out there now. Clomp, clomp, clomp. So it seems like they've been opened, they only reopened recently, but if this is the week before FNAF 1, it's been at least a few years. That's odd. If animatronics encounter you in the restaurant at night, they should ignore you. But your safest bet is to stay in the office until 6 a.m., when they return to the stage, enter sleep mode, and recharge. Then you can go home. Management cares about their employees, and it's time-consuming and expensive to hire and train new ones, not to mention the occasional legal fees and the hassle of covering up accidents. So they installed reinforced doors on either side of the office. In the unlikely event that an animatronic visits you here, you can open and shut the east and west doors by pressing the big red buttons in the doorways. The light switches below them illuminate the east and west halls outside your office, so you can see whether anything is there. Surviving the night probably seems like a low bar for a job, but this isn't just about collecting a check. You may have to venture out of the office from time to time. The animatronics are clumsy and mindless naturally. If they break something out there, you have to go fix it and clean up the mess right away so the restaurant is ready to open, just in case any customers show up. Think of the children! Of course, your number one concern is making sure nothing happens to Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. Oh, and don't forget Foxy. Do not forget about Foxy. There are 3 security monitors on the desk, but 2 of them are always on the fritz. Replacing them would let you see more, but you guess management spent the money on those doors instead. You use the control panel in front of you to switch the one working display to feeds from various cameras around the restaurant. You check the stage first. Your heart pounds when you see Bonnie and Chica are gone. So that's who you heard walking around the restaurant. Freddy's just hanging out up there on his own. The brown bear is dapper as always in his black top hat and bow tie. You're glad they restored the vintage animatronic with his classic look. Freddy doesn't wander much, as if he's above all that, just because he's the star of the show. Or maybe he's saving his energy for something. I'm the star of the show, you tell yourself, as you switch over to the Pirate Cove camera. Foxy is shy. The curtains are drawn, so he must still be back there. Before you locate Bonnie and Chica, you discover a situation that demands immediate attention. The lights in the men's room are out. You must replace the light bulbs before your shift ends, and it's better to do it sooner than later. Okay, so with the last one, my playthrough guide of going through the game was just making the choice that I personally would choose. I'm not sure if we should be role-playing Phone Guy right now, or if we should just be doing what we would do, or if we should try to metagame it and just do what we assume the correct answer is. I think that we need to role-play Phone Guy. So we're gonna go, and we're gonna do what we think that Mr. Ralph himself would do. So we can inspect the desk, go through the door on the left, go through the door on the right, or check the cameras. I think Phone Guy's really worried about Foxy in general, so I think he would go and do his job. He's always doing the good at his job, but he would go left, because Foxy is on the left, so we're gonna take the left door. We already lost. Eager to fix the restroom lights and get back to keep watch, you head out of the office through the west door. It's pretty dark in the hallway, but you have the layouts memorized, even after the recent renovations. They like to move things around here a lot, maybe to confuse the animatronics? The supply closet is just ahead on your left. You want to stop there to pick up some fresh light bulbs, since the bathrooms aren't always stocked. You'd hate to have to make a second trip. You yank the door open and try to step inside the closet, but you bump into something big, solid, furry, and wearing a blood-red bow tie. Bonnie! You recoil, raising your hands in a futile defensive gesture. An ear-splitting shriek cuts through the night as the 6-foot-plus rabbit lunges from the shadows. The last thing you see before everything goes black is his massive jaw snapping open and shut. Game over. We're gonna go right. Right is right, obviously, that's why it's the right door. The restrooms are located on the east side of the restaurant, so you head through the door on your right. You glance at the rules for safety poster as you exit the security office. You don't know why they're posted in this corner where kids shouldn't be anyway. The rules certainly don't apply to you, especially number 8, leave before dark. You laugh nervously. The hallway is decorated with cheerful stars and a checkerboard stripe matching the floor tiles, but the dim light from the lone fixture overhead makes the fading decor seem almost sinister, especially the vintage character posters for Chica, Freddy, and Bonnie. What was that? You thought you heard something, but it was far off. A clanking sound, maybe from the kitchen? The kind of sound a 6-foot-tall animatronic chicken might make if it knocked a metal pot off a counter. I'm very familiar with those sounds. More so if a ghost knocks a porcelain bowl off of a counter, but, you know. If you know, you know. You pause and drink some water. This is a hydration check. Everybody, no matter where you are right now, drink some water. I'm not going to continue until you drink water. Good. You pause and straighten your ears to listen, but you hear nothing more. You reach the dining area. An overhead light illuminates 6 long tables already prepped for a party with confetti tablecloths and party hats lined up. You start to make your way to the restrooms, but you freeze at the sound of slow, heavy footsteps. Hide under the table, hurry toward the bathroom, or knock over a table as a distraction. I don't think Phone Guy would ever, damage the restaurant by knocking over a table. And if I've learned anything from Into the Pit, it's that you should hide under a table, so we're going to hide under a table. You scramble under a table and lie on your stomach, peering out from underneath the tablecloth. Now you feel the vibration of footsteps as well as hear them. They plod toward the dining area. The animatronic would be moving faster if it knew your location. If you make a break for it and stay low behind the tables, you might be able to reach the restrooms without being spotted. Or you can cower here silently and hope whoever it is moves on soon. So we can keep waiting, we can hurry toward the bathroom, or we can have if we have a bonus item, we can use it. I think we're going to keep waiting. I think FNAF is all about waiting for the animatronics to leave, especially FNAF 1. They say discretion is the better part of valor, so you keep hiding and waiting. Definitely not because you're too scared to budge. The footsteps cease, and you wonder if the animatronic is waiting for you. You clamp a hand over your mouth and count the dried, pale wads of gum stuck to the bottom of the table. 7. Gross. After several minutes, which seems more like an hour, you're pretty sure the coast is clear. From your vantage point on the floor, you don't see any oversized animal feet in the immediate vicinity. It's time to make your move. If you head straight to the restroom, go here. If you check the tabletop first, tap here. I think that we need to make sure that the animatronic didn't accidentally upset the tabletop, so we're going to check the tabletop. You crawl out from under the table and grab it to pull yourself up. Your legs are a bit shaky. There isn't a lot on the table. The flimsy white vinyl tablecloth is decorated with colorful confetti. It's disposable, so after a party, the staff can just scoop up all the plates, food scraps, and other detritus, and toss it all into a garbage bag. It's wasteful, but faster and cheaper than having to launder dozens of fabric tablecloths post-children's birthday parties every single day. 5 pointed party hats with different colored stripes are lined up in the middle of the table. Something shiny catches your eye. A foil gum wrapper. You sigh and slip it into a pocket to discard later. People just leave their trash wherever they feel like it. This wouldn't have happened in the old days, when working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was a badge of honor. The franchise has truly fallen on hard times, thanks to those pernicious rumors about missing kids, and the lingering bad press from the Bite of 87. If only the victim could tell what he did to... If only the victim could tell what he did to provoke that attack, but he doesn't talk anymore. What did you do? Or do much else. So the press completely blew the incident out of proportion, and the place hasn't been the same since. That makes it a little easier for you to be moving on. Okay. So he can't talk or do anything else, right? So he's still alive, but missing his frontal lobe or whatever. This still really seems to indicate that this is more recent to FNAF 2 than we had previously thought, right? The place hasn't been the same since, that makes it a little easier for you to be moving on. Between that and him saying, oh, they keep changing whatever. It really seems like it's not 5-6 years after FNAF 2 closed. Very odd, very interesting. But you're going to be a model employee right up to the end. Add gum wrapper to your inventory, and go here. I don't have any paper. I guess I could use my phone. Because we don't have to, like, keep track of points or anything, so I'm just going to write on my phone. Gum wrapper. Not gun wrapper, stupid phone. Gum wrapper. You step into the men's restroom and shut the door. The antiseptic scent of bleach still pervades the air, which is far from the worst thing you've whiffed in there. You try to look around, but it's too dark with both lights out. That's why you're here. What are the odds that 2 bulbs would burn out at the same time? Maybe there was some kind of power surge. After all, the wiring in the building is ancient. That's probably why the cameras always glitch, and monitors in the security office keep overloading. That might even explain some of the strange behavior exhibited by the animatronics. Unless you shake your head. You're in the dark when it comes to that stuff. In this case, literally. Just focus on your job, you think? Focus on getting home to Kapalia. Everything else is way above your pay grade. If you replace the first light bulb, if you listen at the door, if you inspect the sink, those are the options. Why would we inspect the sink? I do think that listening at the door is a very phone guy-ish move to make sure that nothing's there before we start messing with electronical things. So we're going to listen at the door. Maybe the darkness is making you paranoid, but you press your ear against the door and listen. If an animatronic follows you into the restroom, it won't be great for you. There's only one way out. At least I'm in the best place for a person to lose control of their bladder. You chuckle and wince as the sound echoes around you. The restaurant sounds quiet, which oddly makes you feel even more nervous. The darkness seems to be pressing in on you, making it hard to breathe, even harder to think. Your imagination is running wild without any sensory inputs. All you want to do is replace the light bulb and get back to the security office as quickly and safely as possible, so we can replace the first light or inspect the sink. I think that inspecting the sink should be something you do with the lights on, so we're going to check the light bulb. How many night watchmen does it take to change a light bulb? None. They refuse to do it, because if they chase away the night, they're out of a job. You smile to yourself as you take a detour to retrieve a step stool and new bulb from the maintenance closet. You often make up jokes in your head while you're working, and you can't wait to get home to inflict your latest creations on Kapalia. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. I'm just going to keep saying Kapalia. She'll groan loudly and affectionately say, "Bad joke, Dad." You'll remind her that telling dad jokes is a mandatory requirement of all fathers, and you never shirk on your duty. The boring, real answer is, of course, 1. 1 for a night guard changing a light bulb. You finish twisting the new bulb inside the socket and say, "Let there be light," as it flickers on, casting the bathroom in its warm glow. You blink as your eyes adjust to the darkness. You blink as your eyes adjust from the darkness. The white porcelain urinals and sink are gleaming. This is the cleanest the bathroom will be all day. Once the restaurant opens and the kids are unleashed to eat and play, this will quickly become one of the most disgusting rooms in the facility. 1 light down, 1 to go. So we can replace the second bulb, listen at the door again, or inspect the sink. I think we should listen at the door again. Your caution pays off. You hear footsteps outside, moving much more quickly than Bonnie or Chica usually do, getting louder by the second. Is it Foxy? I think it's Foxy. While you've been in the restroom, you haven't been keeping an eye on Pirate Cove. Foxy must have left his attraction. You hope he didn't hear you working in here, but he does have big ears. They're among the few parts that still function on the tattered old animatronic. Yeah, he's on his way to the restroom right now, and you don't have much time before he gets to you. You can barricade the door or hide in a stall. If it's FNAF, you barricade the door, because you lock the door. Hide in the stall in the bathroom. It's clean. Maybe the floor's too reflective. I think barricade the door with your step stool. Do we have anything to barricade the door? I don't know. I think we're going to barricade the door, because it's FNAF. So you close the door. Every time the next page loads, I'm like, oh no, is it going to be a game over? It's like a jump scare. It's actually like a jump scare. Oh boy. You can't lock the doors because kids always find a way to get themselves trapped inside restrooms, so you look around for something to shove against it. The trash can doesn't look heavy enough and you're out of time. Foxy is outside. The door moves inwards and you lean your back against it, pushing it closed again with all your might, as if your life depends on it, which it does. The light bulb you just changed starts flickering as Foxy's metal hook bangs and scrapes against the door. So I think that that's less like faulty wiring. That's more like ghost energy, right? Like the hauntedness, the haunted vibe-ness of the building. Foxy's trying to get you, so now the lights are flickering. Ooh. Each impact sends a jolt through your body, vibrating in your bones. You hope Foxy will just go away, but he just keeps pounding on the door and screeching. Sweat pours down your face and your feet slide on the slick tiles. You're losing your grip on the bathroom door and on reality. The door opens enough to let him get his metal hook inside. The pointed tip is just an inch away from your right eye. All you have to do is hold the door until 6 a.m. Unfortunately, you can't even hold it for 6 seconds. Game over. Alright, so we're gonna make the good decision. We're gonna go hide in the stall. Hide in the stall. Hide! You have to hide! You can't fit in the maintenance closet. It's too small and crammed full of mops, buckets, and cleaning supplies. Your only option is to duck into one of the stalls and stand on the toilet, like you did in elementary school when you needed to get away from the mean kids. Now you think about it, maybe that's one of the reasons you became a security guard, so you could help those who couldn't help themselves. Of course, you imagined that you would be armed in order to protect and serve, but weapons of any kind aren't allowed at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Nothing kills a kid's party more than seeing someone with a taser hanging out in the corner, even if he is the good guy. You dash to the first bathroom stall, but find that it's locked from the inside. It's secured with a simple deadbolt latch. You might be able to get it open if you had something thin enough to fit between the door and jamb. If you barricade the restroom door, if you try the next stall over, are there more options? If you have a paperclip. I do not have a paperclip. Okay, I wonder if is barricading going to lead to the same option? Yes, okay, interesting. Alright, so we're going to hide in the stall, and we're going to try the next stall over because we don't have a paperclip. Ooh, so this is like a dead end no matter what. Interesting. We'd need the paperclip. The next stall over is open, but before you can get inside it, the bathroom door bangs open and slams against the wall, loud as a gunshot. Foxy the pirate is here, and he knows how to make an entrance. His exposed metal feet clink against the floor as he steps into the bathroom. The porcelain tiles crack under the pressure of his weight. His eye patch is pulled up, so both of his glowing white eyes are focused intently on you. He scrapes his hook along the wall as he stalks toward you. And then he starts humming. Foxy used to sing in stage shows with Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, until he was banished to Pirate Cove and left to be forgotten. The tune is slow and unsettling, but you can't quite remember the song, at least not in the short time you have left. Game over. Okay, so we're back to this decision. So if we listen at the door, we know Foxy's coming, which is bad. We can inspect the sink, or we can replace the second light bulb. I have a feeling if we replace the second light bulb, we're just going to die, whereas the sink might have some sort of object or item that we need, like the paperclip. So, now that the one light is on, we're going to inspect the sink, and try to live. I take that back, I actually want to do the other path first, because I think it's a dead end, and I think we're just going to die. So this is a non-canon selection, we're just completionists, so we need to do all the different deaths. Yeah, I was right. You've just removed the second burned out bulb when you hear something big run up to the restroom door. Foxy, you think, just before he bursts the door open. The tattered crimson fox gapes at you, one eye covered with a black patch, jaw hanging slack to reveal vicious teeth. His right arm is raised threateningly with a sharp silver hook on the end where his hand should be. Everything about the animatronic screams, not for kids, which is probably why his attraction has been marked out of order for the reopening. Though as far as you know, he's never bitten any kids. So yeah, it's still considering this time to be the reopening. This is really indicating that it's a lot closer to 1987 than we thought. It also says he's never bitten any kids, which might imply that he did the bite of 87, because it's saying he's bitten someone who's not kids. My personal headcanon is that it's Mangle. A lot of people like to think it's Toy Chica for some reason, because, oh, her beak is lodged in your forehead, which doesn't make any sense, because being lodged in your forehead and biting out your frontal lobe are not the same thing, so I think it's Mangle, but this might be the most evidence there is that it's actually withered Foxy. So we're going to continue. But now Foxy's literally screaming and rushing towards you. You hurl the light bulb in your hand at him, but it shatters harmlessly against his head and broken shards of glass tinkle on the floor tiles. Great move. Now he's really agitated. The good news is, you won't have to clean up the mess. The bad news is, you are the mess. Game over. Alright, so the only option left is inspect the sink. Wow, we did everything wrong. Wow. One of the sinks is lower than the other to make it easier for kids to reach the faucets, just as one of the urinals is at a child's height. It's a thoughtful detail in a place designed for children and families. Heavy feet are running in the dining area. The sound rapidly gets louder. You barely have time to process what's happening when the door bursts open. You see glowing white eyes in the dim light, recognize the tall, lean silhouette of Foxy the pirate. His wicked sharp teeth and the metal hook on the end of his right arm glint in the dark bathroom. Seeing Foxy up close usually sends a thrill through you. You used to stop in to see him every day at the end of your shift, until they closed his attraction and warned everyone to stay out of Pirate's Cove. So now it seems like it wasn't closed the moment that they reopened, and that it was open for a while. Interesting. The tattered animatronic rushes towards you in an eye blink. Your combined screams reverberate deafeningly in the bathroom. Your final thought before the darkness becomes permanent is, "But you were my favorite. Game over." Okay, so that means we have to check the sink before we even change the first light bulb. That's the only path here. Okay, so we're back at the initial direction. So before we change the first light bulb, we can inspect the sink. So that's what we have to do now, I guess, because Foxy's far away. Alright. Plink, plink, plink. That dripping faucet is so annoying. You can't concentrate on anything else. You turn to your right and feel for the sinks as you edge along the wall. When you reach them, you tighten the hot and cold water taps until the drip stops. The sink is filled with water. It appears that something is clogging the drain. You probe it and feel something soft and slimy. You pry it loose and squish it in your fingers. It's slightly sticky. You raise it to your nose and sniff tentatively. Chewed gum. Ew. With the obstruction removed, the water drains out of the sink, gurgling down the pipes. Add chewed gum to your inventory and turn back. So the only options we have, I guess we can listen, we listened at the door already. We can check the first bulb without listening at the door first, which I guess takes less time still. So, no, this is the same. Okay, so we changed one, and if we change the second one, we die. And if we listen at the door again, and hide in the stall, or do whatever, we die. So no matter what we die no matter what if we don't have the paperclip. Huh. So no matter what we do, if we don't have the paperclip, we lose. So you need the paperclip to get here. Alright, so I guess we really do have to go all the way back to the beginning. Alright, so now we're back to the first choice. Wow. So we can go left, which kills us. Go right, which gets us into a big loop with Foxy, and we lose no matter what we do without the paperclip. We can inspect the desk, or we can check the cameras. So I guess we're going to inspect the desk for a paperclip. The new day shift security guard left quite a mess. Scrunched up food wrappers and empty soda cups everywhere. You know it can be hard to stay awake while watching the cameras for 6 hours, but there's an unspoken rule in this office. Keep it clean for the next person. You're going to have to leave a passive-aggressive note before you finish tonight. They'll never make Employee of the Month with an attitude like that. Just because we don't often meet our fellow employees doesn't mean we aren't part of the same friendly Fazbear family, trademark. It's important to have some pride and consideration. This is one of the reasons you agreed to record those training videos for new hires, and leave phone messages as part of orientation. It helps you feel a connection to the other guards. Okay, so training videos is the FNAF 3 spring lock suit videos, and phone messages for the new hires as part of orientation is the thing that you will record for the FNAF 1 guard for Mike. It helps you feel a connection to the other guards. You hope hearing a calm voice helps them keep a level head when things get tense, and it's nice to know that even after you leave this job, part of you will always remain here, because you get dead. You yank open the top metal drawer and yup, more trash. You pluck out the crumpled balls of paper and soda cups and spot something small and shiny at the bottom of the desk, a paper clip. Those always come in handy. You slip it into your pocket and finish tidying up the office. All those soda cups remind you about the restroom and those broken lights you have to take care of. Add paperclip to your inventory and turn back. Okay, so we always had to do that first. So every other action we did didn't matter. I wonder, okay, so I'm starting to think that we lose if we check the cameras, because it's the only non-dead end. So, check the cameras to die? No, huh. It's always a good idea to check the monitors to see where the animatronics are at any given time, especially if you're thinking about leaving the office. You quickly click through the camera feed. Freddy's on the stage, but he's moved since the last time you looked in on him. He's facing the camera now, his eyes seemingly glazing into my soul like I did when I told you guys to drink water earlier. His eyes seemingly gazing into your soul as if to say, I know that you're watching. You shudder. Who watches the watcher? White eyes peer from behind the curtain in Pirate Cove and then blink out. Not so fast, Foxy. You can't find Chica anywhere, but the camera in the kitchen has been broken for a while. It only picks up audio, no video. Something is in there, rattling pots and pans and banging cabinet doors. The giant yellow chicken has a voracious appetite. Sounds like she's a bit peckish and looking for a midnight snack. You get it? 'Cause she has a beak, and peckish means hungry. Bonnie. Where's Bonnie? There, in the west hall, heading toward the security office. Okay, so we were supposed to look at the desk to get the paperclip, look at the camera to know not to go to the left side, so then we know how to go to the right side, so then we go all the way to the bathroom, and we hit under the table. I wonder what happens if you knock... Okay, if you go straight to the bathroom, do we lose? Yes. Okay, so we're in the main party room. Previously, we hid under the table, but this time we don't do that, we just go straight to the bathroom. You don't like being out in the open here. If you can make it to the restroom, you can try to block the door to keep the animatronics out while you replace the light bulbs. You race toward the restroom, the rubber soles of your shoes squeaking on the red and blue vinyl tiles. But remember, the animatronics are surprisingly fast when they want to be. You only make it halfway across the dining room before the powerful yellow arms grab you from behind. Your blood-curdling screams drown out the whir of animatronic servos and cracking bones. So Chica kills us, I think. Alright, so we go through the right door. This time, I want to see what happens if we knock over the table as a distraction. This is the only option we haven't done yet. We die as well. A loud noise might distract the animatronic long enough for you to slip by. Tipping over the table will make another mess for you to clean up later. But the important thing is to make sure there is a later. You grab one side of the table and heave, flipping it. It falls with a crash, knocking over a row of plastic chairs and sending shiny paper hats flying. That should do it. You're about to dart toward the restroom when you spot both Bonnie and Chica in your way. They see you at the same time and dash toward you. You spin around and run away, right into Freddy Fazbear's crushing embrace. Alright, so the only thing to do is you duck under the table. Oh, I guess you can, we kept waiting. Basically, at this point, I'm just looking to get all the game overs. I wonder what a bonus item means. Okay, so hurry toward the bathroom or bonus item. I don't know if bonus item means the paperclip. No, I didn't want to read any, massive spoilers there. But I guess I don't have the bonus item. That skipped, all the way to the end. Wow, that's a good thing I didn't, look at literally any of that. Okay. We're going to leave without waiting again. You don't like being out in the open here. Okay, so this is the same ending. So, okay. So we're gonna go, and we're gonna keep waiting, and then we're gonna go... We check the tablecloth to get the gum wrapper or whatever. Replace the first bulb. Then we're gonna listen at the door. Foxy's here. Hide in the stall. Use the paperclip, and use it. So Foxy's coming to get us. We can't barricade the door, so we're gonna hide in the stall, but it's locked, so we need the paperclip. You check your pockets for the paperclip you found earlier. Got it. You straighten out the wire and then bend one end of it up to a right angle. Foxy isn't the only one with a hook now. You insert your new makeshift tool between the door and frame and fiddle around. It only takes you a second to catch the knob of the bolt and slide the lock open. The door swings out toward you. You slip into the stall and pull the door closed. You don't believe this. The door won't stay shut. The slide bolt is jammed now. Oops! And you can't lock the door. What rotten luck. Foxy's footsteps stop right outside the restroom. What now? You can try the next stall over. You can hold the door shut if you have the chewed gum and want to use it. So we do have the chewed gum because we checked the sink. So we're going to use this chewed gum. I'm guessing that we die if we do anything else. You pull the wad of chewed gum from your pockets and pick lint off of it. It's still soft and slightly sticky. You wedge it into the door lock and the door stays closed. You sigh with relief and crouch on the toilet, tucking your feet under you and out of the view. The restroom door creaks open and bumps against the wall. Someone is there, waiting in the doorway. Waiting. Watching. Waiting. Somehow, you manage to remain perfectly still, and eventually, whoever it is, leaves. Alright, so we can peek under the door and look outside. We can open the door and go outside or peek under the stall. We're cautious, so we're going to peek under the stall. You lower yourself gently to the floor of the stall, freezing any time you make the slightest sound, and waiting for a moment before you continue. Soon you are lying on your belly, grateful that the restroom has been so thoroughly cleaned. You peer out from under the door. No sign of the metal legs and feet of Foxy's exposed endoskeleton. From here, you can glimpse a sliver of the restroom hallway, and beyond that, the dining area. All is quiet. You lie there for a few minutes to be sure you're alone, and to settle down and catch your breath. That was too close. You're getting nervous about being outside the security office, with its cameras and door locks to make you feel, well, more secure. But before you can head back there, you need to finish your job for the night. You stare up at the second broken light bulb. You're the only thing standing between me and home tonight, you say. So I'm talking to inanimate objects now, and myself. That's awesome. You've been through a lot already. You're tempted to leave now, knowing that someone on day shift will have to replace the bulb and fix that bathroom door. If you don't. But like you said in one of your training videos for the restaurant, you can't spell team without M and E. After the bite of 87, you heard some of the staff twist that around to, you can't spell team without M-E-A-T. You didn't much appreciate that. People deal with tragedy and loss in their own ways, sometimes with humor. But hey, at least it shows that they were listening during orientation. Okay, you can replace the second light bulb or look inside the second bathroom stall. Let's look inside the stall. It seems like the only negative to doing like these more slow options is that it might make the animatronics attack you faster, right? So we slip down on our tummy instead of just opening the door, so that might like increase the rate at which one of the animatronics walks by. But we're gonna look in the second stall. The close call with Foxy has you on edge, jumping at shadows and constantly glancing over your shoulder. You're pretty sure the second bathroom stall is empty, so why do you hear hoarse, garbled whispers coming from inside? You can't make out the words, but it sounds like someone is reciting poetry, or a song, or a children's rhyme? Or maybe it's a jingle from a TV commercial. Something something stains, something something remains? It's probably an ad for laundry detergent, but where's it coming from? You pull the door towards you slowly. Empty. Or not quite. A ballpoint pen is lying on the floor at the base of the toilet. You don't know how the cleaning crew missed that, but you're definitely going to shove it in their face. You step into the stall and retrieve the pen. The door of the stall bumps closed behind you. Your pulse quickens as you imagine yourself being trapped here, but you force yourself to turn around calmly. That's when you see the words written on the inside of the door in angry scribbles of ink. It's me. Yes. Weird. You'll have to leave a note for the crew to scrub that off first thing in the morning, and you'll be sure to suggest to management that they add no vandalism to the list of rules. You exit the stall and go replace the second broken light bulb. Add ballpoint pen to your inventory. Okay, so, interesting. Okay, so, in FNAF 1, It's Me will occasionally pop on screen. A lot of people associate it with Golden Freddy, but technically it pops on screen with the faces of other animatronics. It's just like, kind of linked to Golden Freddy because it's an apparition. In the game, the other place you see It's Me is the sign outside Pirate's Cove. In the FNAF movie, It's Me is written on a mirror during the scene when Foxy is chasing Mike, and now Foxy's like in the bathroom with you, and seemingly he writes It's Me on the bathroom stall. So It's Me is very associated with Foxy, and not so much with Golden Freddy, which I think is very interesting. So we're continually in different mediums, I mean. So interesting, we're gonna take the ballpoint pen and continue. You replace the second light bulb even faster than the first. The later it gets, the more dangerous it is to be outside the security office. You haven't been watching the cameras, but you have to assume all the animatronics are walking around now. With the bathroom once again bright and cheerful, you can head back to safety, but getting there will be very unsafe. You return the step stool to the maintenance closet and dispose of the old burned out bulbs in the trash. You glimpse your reflection in the wide mirror. You look terrible. The light reveals deep shadows under your eyes. Transitioning from the day shift to the night shift is already starting to fatigue you. Again, so that makes it seem like he's really only been doing night shift for a short amount of time. This is very interesting. It really makes it seem like it has not been 5 or 6 years since the bite of 87. It making you question what's real and what isn't. At least it's only for a week, and then you can rest as much as you want before diving back into your job search. A position is opening up for security guard at your daughter's school, and you really hope you get it. But middle schoolers can be just as difficult to handle as animatronics. In some way, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, and Foxy are just big, terrifying kids. You hope you don't run into any of them on your way back to the office. Better hurry, your shift is almost over. If you leave the restroom right away, if you listen at the door. We've been cautious up to this point, so we're gonna listen. You're itching to get moving, but you press your ear to the bathroom door and listen. It sounds quiet out there. You grab the handle and are about to open the door when you glance down. Faint light from the dining area seeps in under the door, but it's interrupted by 2 shadows. Those could be feet, you think. Really big feet. The moment stretches out for a long time. Your knuckles are white. You're gripping the door handle so tightly. But then the shadows are gone and you hear footsteps moving away. You've been breathing shallowly this whole time, worried you'd be heard, so you take in a deep breath. It's now or never. You sneak back to the security office without encountering any more animatronics. By the time you get there, it's 5:45 a.m. Your shift is almost over. You check the cameras. To your relief, Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy are all present on the stage, and the curtain is drawn at Pirate's Cove. Previous night watchmen have reported the animatronics behaving strangely, but like everyone else, you dismissed their wild stories. Sometimes, people fall asleep staring at the camera feeds and they imagine things, bolstered by the old rumors and stories. The mind can be a funny thing, making it hard to distinguish hallucinations from reality. Now you feel bad for not believing them, and you know that if you tell others about what happened tonight, they won't believe you either. Perhaps they would even discourage you from talking about what you've seen. You would never do anything that would harm Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. You've put too much time in, put so much of yourself into your job that you're practically a part of it yourself. You never pictured yourself leaving, but it seems like the best time to go, especially considering everything that happened tonight. Just 4 more shifts left. You can do this. If you tidy up before the end of your shift, do here. If you sit down and wait for 6 a.m., do here. If you have the bonus item, use it. I do not have the bonus item, so we're going to tidy up. You start putting the security office back together the way it should be for the next shift. You toss all the garbage from the desk into the trash can. The sight of those food wrappers and soda cups sets your stomach growling. You haven't eaten in the last 6 hours. You clear out junk from the yellow lockers at the back of the room as well, including a year-old packet of toaster pastries, and you choke down anyway because you're hungry. Yum. You return to the desk. 5 minutes go by, you click through the cameras, the animatronics are still where they belong. Already the events of the night are starting to seem like just a bad dream. Your attention falls on the poster behind the TV. Celebrate! Celebrate, it implores in bright bubble letters above a group photo of Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica. These lovable characters couldn't be capable of the horrors you've just experienced, could they? Maybe you've just been misinterpreting everything. This place can have that effect on people when it's late, and you're tired and hungry, and lonely. You stare at the image while moving your head from side to side. From some angles, it looks like there's a bulge in the paper. Before you can investigate, a red light starts blinking on the telephone. Do we investigate the poster, or check the phone? I think we need to investigate the poster. That seems very suspicious. You lean over the desk to get a closer look at the poster. There's definitely a bump on the wall under Freddy Fazbear's nose, giving it a 3D effect. There's one thing you've always wanted to do to Freddy, but the pizza place has rules, and you're a stickler for rules. You even wrote some of them. Number 6, don't touch Freddy. You poke your index finger at Freddy's nose and are surprised to hear a honk. Even more surprising, something behind the poster falls to the floor with a soft clatter. You push the chair out of the way and crawl under the desk. It's even more disgusting down here, with crumbs and something dark and sticky on the dingy old carpet. It's just soda, you tell yourself, wiping the palm of your hand vigorously on your pants. Way at the back, you find a thin plastic card lying next to the wall. You haven't seen one of these in a long time. They stopped issuing them to employees because there was so much turnaround. This one is the old security badge, but the face and name have been scratched out. Who was this, and who hid it here? Add the card to your inventory and tap touch here. You watch the clock on the desk as the numbers flip over from 5:59 to 6 a.m. Yay, you survived your first night at Freddy's. All is quiet as you leave the security office and pass through the restaurant. You step outside and take in the fresh, cool air, happy and grateful to be alive. Even the early morning light seems too bright after the darkness of the pizza place. You lose all sense of time in there, since most of the windows are in different parts of the restaurant. So there are windows. Interesting. There isn't a cloud in the sky. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Too bad you'll have to sleep through most of it once you send Coppolia off to school, and then it won't be long before you're back here for your second night. Who knows what that will bring. You lock up the restaurant, wave goodbye to the sleeping animatronics inside, and head home. Is this going to bring us to night 2? No. When you get home at 6:30 a.m., you wish you could go to bed, but your day isn't over just yet. Now it's time for your second and most important job, parenting. This one is full-time and pays nil, but you wouldn't have it any other way. However, getting your 11-year-old daughter, Coppolia, up and ready for school is more challenging than anything Freddy Fazbear's Pizza could throw your way. You peek into her bedroom and see her still snoozing peacefully. Books are scattered across her bedspread and on the floor. An open one lies in her chest, rising and falling with her steady breathing. She was clearly up late last night, reading as usual. You laugh a little when you see drool in the corner of her mouth and a damp spot on her pillowcase. I wish I had a camera, you think. So you study her a little longer, trying to hold on to this memory for later. You go into the kitchen to make breakfast, intentionally banging pots and pans around as you cook eggs and bacon. You can't help think of Chica, and you force the thought away. You're off the clock now, and you will not let the animatronics live rent-free in your head. The combination of Coppolia's alarm clock and the aroma of bacon is enough to wake her. She pads out into the kitchen in her rocket ship pajamas, hair a tangled mess, and her face lights up when she sees you. "Missed me, huh?" you say, twirling your spatula. "No, I just love bacon so much." She gives you a hug, and by extension, the person making it for me. You laugh. "But seriously, I missed you," she says. "While you were sleeping?" "Especially then. I never sleep well when you aren't home." "I hate leaving, but it's just for this week." She sees the concern. That really makes it seem like it's only been 1 week since the place reopened. Like this is the only week that it's on the night shift. That's really weird. She sees the concern on your face and puts a hand over her mouth. "Oh, Dad, I didn't mean to guilt trip you. I'm fine, really. Mrs. Andrews always looks in on me, and she hears everything that goes on around here." "That's an understatement," you smile. You're grateful to have someone close by to watch the house when you're away, but you've never worried that Coppolia will get into any trouble on her own. If anything, she's keeping an eye on kindly Mrs. Andrews, who had sadly lost her own daughter at a young age years ago, and has been overprotective of the neighborhood kids since. Is that Susie's last name? Do we already know that from Vesper Frights? I know it's different continuity, but interesting. Interesting. Coppolia reaches for the tray of cooked bacon. You slap her hand away. "You're not getting 1 slice of bacon until you're dressed for school." She sticks out her tongue and disappears into her room. I want to read this again. Yeah, years ago. So even if this is only like 1988 or whatever, then yeah, the MCI in 85 was years ago. Interesting. Coppolia comes back in record time with her hair neatly tied in a ponytail, a bedazzled purple t-shirt, tights, and a jean jacket. That's just so 80s. It must be the 80s. That is so 80s. She sits down, and you put a heaping amount of bacon on her plate, and she immediately starts shoveling into her mouth. "How is work?" she asks. "Uneventful," you lie. "Sounds like my dream job," she says, sitting at a desk in the middle of the night, pushing buttons. "I would catch up on so much reading until boredom kills me." "You would not be killed by boredom at Freddy's," you say, "and promise me you'll never work there." She laughs. "Okay, sure." "And how was your day?" You catch up with each other while you eat breakfast. Then she notices the time on the Kit Kat clock and jumps up. "My bus!" She shoves another piece of bacon in her mouth and grabs her backpack by the kitchen door. She rummages around in it. "Crud, do you have a pen? I have to finish my homework on the bus." You raise an eyebrow. "Why didn't you do it last night?" "Because I couldn't find my pen. Keep up, Dad." Good thing we have the pen from earlier. If you have the pen, remove it. Yeah, so we have the pen, so we're gonna give it to her. You grab the pen from your pocket. "Here you go. Don't lose this one." You toss it to her. She catches it expertly. She should really be on a sports team, but all she wants to do is read, tinker with projects in the basement, and play the Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis release year 1989. Okay, so it's at least 1989. Interesting. She's a great kid, you think? I don't know how I got so lucky. "Thanks," she looks at the pen. "Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Employee of the Month. Don't you have like a drawer full of these? You're the best worker there. Not that the bar is very high." "Hey, give me my pen back." "Nope." She twists the pen and discovers there's a screwdriver inside. "Wicked." "Yeah, you probably shouldn't be bringing that to school." You stand up. "I'll find you another pen." The bus honks outside. "Too late, gotta go." She runs to the door. A moment later, she runs back and gives you a kiss on the cheek. "Love you." And then she's gone, with your pen in hand. You already miss her. At least working the night shift doesn't take away your time together. Though you don't like the idea of leaving her home alone, even under the sometimes too careful, watchful eyes of the neighbor. Just 4 more days, you yawn and head to bed. Alright, so that's the end of night 1. I definitely want to go back in this video and see what those other options would lead to, right? So let's just go back a little bit. Wow, there's like a lot here. That's so, like, what is all this? I guess the end of night stuff might all be toward the end of the book. Oh, lordy. Okay, wait for me to figure out how to get back to where I was. Okay, so we're back in the bathroom. You had the option to peek under the stall, which is what we did, or just open the door. So we're gonna just open the door. You quietly open the stall and tiptoe to the door. The heavy footsteps are growing more distant. You take a quick look outside the restroom and see Foxy ambling through the dining area on his way back to Pirate Cove. You wipe a sleeve across your damp brow. Wow, that was close. Your fingers ache and twitch from holding the stall door closed. You're going to file a very stern complaint letter to the maintenance staff for leaving a stall door broken until the next shift. You check your watch, it's just after 4 a.m. and you still have a job to do. Okay, so that didn't change anything. If we don't look in the second stall, then we don't get the pen, which is the only change there. So earlier we waited at the door, so we're in the bathroom. We need to get back to the office. We waited at the door. If you don't wait at the door, this happens. You can't wait to return to the security office, so you yank the bathroom door. Bonnie is in the hallway. The 6-foot-tall rabbit animatronic looks down at you with malevolent red eyes, groaning softly. His strained voice sounds uncannily human. You only have a split second to act if it isn't already too late. You slam the door, slip past him. Let's slam the door. Oh, we're actually alive. You slam the door in Bonnie's grinning face and hold it shut. He doesn't try to get in. He continues groaning for a short while, and then you hear his footsteps moving away. Phew, that was too close to call. There's no telling what Bonnie wanted with you. You just hope he's on his way back to the stage and won't be waiting for you at the security office. Okay, then you get back to the office. Okay, so I wonder if you go the other path. Try to slip past him. Bonnie seems bulky and slow. You think you can slip past him and run away. You're wrong. As you exit the bathroom, he seizes your left arm in a vice-like grip. No matter how much you pull and push, you can't get free. The more you struggle, the more he squeezes your arm. The pain is excruciating as your bones break. He ignores your screaming and drags you roughly across the dining area by your broken, useless arm. You go limp, dragging your heels to try to slow him down, but he carries you as easily as his electric guitar. Your throat is raw, same, and you can't scream anymore, and there's no one to hear you, anyway. The agony causes you to drift in and out of consciousness. You're vaguely aware that Bonnie is taking you backstage, where animatronic parts are stored for eventual maintenance. He drops you on the floor and turns to pick up a spare yellow Freddy costume. Yellow Freddy costume. He walks towards you with it while you use your good arm to scoot away from him. Bonnie wants to put you inside the suit for some reason, even though there's no way you can fit inside along with all its motors and servos. If you manage to live through your experience, you'd be surprised at how much of you he managed to squeeze in. Game over. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So there is a yellow suit in the back of FNAF 1, which technically we were not aware of. We just know that, like, Golden Freddy appears in your office. We didn't know that he was physically there. So now we're in the office. We got there safely. We can tidy up, or we can just wait for 6 a.m. I think if you just wait for 6 a.m. Wait, what? Wait down for 6 a.m. You still find the ID card. Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna check the phone. So, okay, if you wait, then you get the ID card. If you check the poster, you get the ID card. So the other option is to check the phone. What if you wait here? Okay, so then you don't get the card. Alright, so we're going to check the phone. So, in this instance, we're probably not going to get the ID card. The black office phone is dusty, but the headset is smudged. There are smaller smudges on the 1 and 9 buttons. Someone has used it recently to call 911. Some people around here know you as the phone guy. Confirmation, it's canon, Ralph is the phone guy. Because of your voice messages that are forwarded to new hires with reminders, tips, and encouraging words to support them during their orientation week. Ironically, you don't use the phone much yourself. You record the messages, and management schedules them to go out automatically. They've probably been using the same ones for ages. Maybe you should update them before you go. Yeah, that makes the most sense. A faded scrap of paper taped to the phone has a handwritten list of extensions of various locations around the pizza place. Backstage, parts and services, dining area, party room 1, Pirate Cove. Another number is provided for voicemail. The red light continues blinking on the front of the phone. Someone has left you a message. You can call backstage, dial home, or call voicemail. We're gonna have to do all of these. This is crazy, guys. Backstage. You pick up the handset and dial the extension for backstage. The line rings and rings. The line crackles and clicks intermittently, but no one picks up. You're not sure what you expected. You're here alone tonight with the animatronics, and it's not like they can answer the phone. And they certainly can't pick up the phone and call you. Still, as you replace the handset, you feel an odd sense of relief. This has been such a strange night. Part of you wondered, worried, whether someone would pick up. At this point, nothing at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza would shock or surprise you. But that comes from having worked here for so long. You've seen almost everything, right? That's why you're somewhat happy to be working the night shift. New experiences. So you are new on the night shift, but in FNAF 2 you said that you'd probably work the night. Okay, so FNAF 2 closes because of the Bite of 87 / the DCI. And then FNAF 1 opens and you're not the night guard, but now you're the night guard. Weird. You hope when you're done, you can help put these rampant rumors about the animatronics to rest and make sure the next person in this chair knows exactly how to survive in this job for a long time. It's the perfect way to close this chapter of your life. Tap touch here. Okay, so you can only call one thing. So, yeah, the only thing you can do is call one of the numbers. And that told us nothing. So we're going to dial home and see what happens. You'll be home in less than an hour, but you really want to hear your daughter's voice right now, to make sure she's okay, and to let her know you're okay. A parent never stops worrying. You pick up the receiver and dial your home phone number, but all you hear is a series of clicks and silence. No ringing, no dial tone. Then you remember, you have to dial a code to access an outside line, but you can't remember anyone ever telling you what it was. You bet management doesn't want anyone calling outside the pizza place when they're supposed to be working, especially during a security shift. It seems like a bad policy though. What if there was an emergency, and you had to call the police or fire department? At least you won't have to deal with management's eccentricities for much longer. As you replace the receiver on the phone, a nagging thought in the back of your mind wonders if you made a mistake keying in your home phone number. You shake your head. This first night has been so unsettling. Your imagination is really running wild. You're sure you have nothing to worry about. Okay, so maybe like now the animatronics know your phone number, except because of the limitations of this being a book game, we know that that's literally not impossible. That's literally not possible, because there's no way of it knowing which of these options you picked. So we're going to do the final option, which is voicemail. That blinking red light captures your attention. You don't remember whether it was there when you returned to the office or whether it appeared while you were tidying up. You assume it's an automated message sent by the system, but you can't quell your curiosity about it. You pick up the receiver and push the flashing red button, which automatically dials voicemail. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, answering service. Please enter your 4-digit access code at the sound of the beep. Beep! If you have the 4-digit voicemail code, tap here. If you don't have the code, hang up. We don't have the code. So we're gonna touch here. Okay, and that's it. How would we get the code? I believe I've done literally everything. Yeah, I'm very confused. I think we've done every option, except for whatever requires those bonus items. Okay, so the only option I think that we left undone was not giving her the pen. So let's see what not giving her the pen does. Nothing. What? Wait, seriously? She took the pen with her, told us it has a screwdriver in it, which might be important information for later, but she took it. So how does us keeping it help if we don't know it's a screwdriver? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to very carefully go through this and see if there's any other options we didn't do, because I want to see if we can maybe find out that phone code, or if that's only something we can do later. Alright, so I just quickly clicked through the entire chapter, and it looks like we did every option. So I'm not sure how we're supposed to have that voicemail code, unless it's something like, because obviously you can play through with this bonus item, whatever, so it's possible that like after you beat the game, you go back and you have like a bonus game mode. So like the canon ending is you die, and then the non-canon ending will be like you live, but you can only do that if you play the canon ending. That's my guess. Flipping through the pages, it definitely looks like there's supposed to be pictures that pop up, like of Bonnie or Chica, like, coming to get you, and because of the format of this being an ebook, for whatever reason, they're not loading on the same page as the words. So sorry that we missed those. But yeah, this was part 1. Obviously, there's 5 nights at Freddy's. If you look at the table of contents, though, there's actually 6. So I'm not sure if every night is going to take an entire video. That would make this way longer than VIP. But no matter what, thank you for watching. Be sure to be nice to each other in the comments. Consider supporting the creators you most admire. Never lose sight of the things that are most important to you. And remember that Freddy's stands for Friendly, Respectful Engagement, Discourse, and Discussion Yield Success. I'll see you next time.